Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notifications when I have new videos. If you've been with me for a while, welcome back. Today I want to talk about using your voice as part of really reclaiming your truth. We talk about boundaries, we talk about codependency a lot, and really using your voice and aligning what you say and do with what you feel is next level healing. Watch this video. So the throat chakra is really involved in using your voice. If you're my monthly membership, December this year, 2019, is all about speaking up and using your voice. And so often people I work with who have some inner wounds, inner child healing to do, have almost fear and guilt about speaking up and using their voice, and that energy can get stuck, and we can have a lot of thyroid stuff, we can have a lot of throat stuff, we can have a lot of stuff that goes on physically when we're not releasing and self-expressing emotionally. So really what I want to focus on today is that next level of really understanding what you feel. You know, you get to a certain place in your own self-awareness and you're like, yeah, I know what I feel, but I numb out because I know that these people won't like it, I won't be pleasing them, I won't be accepted by them, or I just ignore, or I just pretend it's not there. But the truth is, you always know what you feel. You do. And if you don't, it's because you've numbed out that sensation, and we can get that back for sure. But once you understand what you feel, meaning, you know, do you want this or this? Your answer might be this, but you know that they want you to want this, so you'll, again, deny your truth, or you will abandon self. And so really, when we can get honest and say, I really want this one, and even if you don't want me to want it, I honor my own truth, I'm loyal to my own soul, and then you buy this anyway, what starts happening is you start lining up with self, and this starts to open, and it starts to feel free, and you start to feel like your own power is being spoken and lived in alignment with over the opinions of others. I had a client earlier this morning who was having breakthrough after breakthrough, talking about how she finally realized that how her parents had treated her just wasn't right. And there's so much self-blame that goes into this. When our parents don't treat us right, for example, as kids, we can never see them as the problem. We see ourselves as it. We internalize. So there's a lot of self-blame. And when there's self-blame, specifically around how we feel, we dim down how we feel. We reject how we feel. We forget about how we feel because we're so aligned with them. And so what happens is we get this huge block in our voice. We lose our voice. We feel scared to speak up on behalf of our voice. We don't know how to assert our truth and power. And so one of the things I like to do is recognize how this feels. Once you notice, okay, I was treated wrong, or this is why I numbed my feelings, or this is why I'm having issues, you can come into the reality of, but now I'm doing that to myself. And when you notice I'm doing that to myself, what you can then do is realize I don't have to anymore. And so my client this morning, it was actually two back-to-back that had the same exact scenario, which often happens in my work. It's very synchronistic week to week. This collective consciousness that we're all part of is super obvious. And so my other client was like, I really understand this pattern now, but how do I assert this? How do I use this? How do I do this without guilt, fear? So here's the thing. You have to do it regardless of the guilt and fear that comes up, because you have to understand the guilt and fear is a conditioned response for your inner child. When you were young and you were afraid to speak up because you knew that mommy or daddy or whoever would not be there for you or accept you or approve of you, you cut off that voice and started just living for the approval, just living for the pleasing. And so what I'm saying is, instead of cutting yourself off to keep doing that, what we have to realize is it's the inner child that does that, but the adult self knows better. And instead of having to live for them, it's now about living for you. It's about being completely aligned with what's true for you, because you will not survive in a happy way if you don't. It's not about, I'm going to keep doing things that please others who I don't really even need to survive anymore. What I'm doing is I'm compromising being with me. What I'm doing is I'm compromising standing in my own power so that I can feel safe in a place that's actually not making me feel safe anymore. So I asked my client, I said, well, by living in alignment with all of their whole family's preferences, how does that work for you? Has it worked for you? And she started to tear up and she's like, not at all. I feel oftentimes lost. I feel oftentimes like there's no foundation, like the rug could be pulled out from under me. Like I don't know who I am. And I said, well, you don't know who you are because you're not living for who you are. You're living for them and they are not you. Your inner guidance system is for you. Theirs is for them. But another piece of this, let's take parents as an example. And I never say to blame parents. I say to have forgiveness for them because they are also doing the best that they can do. When parents don't have what they need, a husband has passed away, a husband has left, a wife's left. When they don't have their needs met, they oftentimes need you to act certain ways so they can feel okay and function. Is that wrong? Yeah. Did they not have the coping mechanisms they needed? Sure. So when that happens, what they often do is instead of taking responsibility, they will put it on you as if it's your problem that you're acting out. You're making mommy mad or daddy mad. Now, the truth of it is, I understand why you're acting out. It makes sense. I'm not able to be there for you. But unless that consciousness happens, most of us grew up with a level of, you're acting out, you're bad, you're making me upset. When that happens, you feel rejected. You feel like what I'm feeling isn't okay. And then you start making what you feel isn't okay for even you. So, speaking up is about re-owning what you feel, knowing that it's what's right for you, and acting on behalf of that regardless of how it affects others. Because this isn't about living in my truth that works for others. It's about living in the truth that's embodied in me. You guys, just a couple announcements. My new EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique Bundle, has just been released. Link is below. There's a pack of 10 for you. It covers anger, control, anxiety, high sensitivity, relationship, money, everything. And also my 5-minute meditation, Soul Snack, is below. Emotional Rehab will be launching in 2 weeks. So excited. And so much more going on. I have 6 holiday bundles for you of discounted prices. Please check them out. It's my gift to you. And if you're a loyal client that's been with me for a while, there's also another little gift coming for you in the mail. So very excited about this. Love you guys so much and have a great week.